I want y'all to see my hamstrings. But also, my client a couple of weeks ago, she was like, you need to make a video. Oh, yes, Pop. You need to make a video about like what it's been like a year, after you have divorced or fully separated. And I was like, you know what? That was already in the planner of things to do. I just didn't know how exactly I was going to do it. But what better way than to start with stretching? Because it definitely stretched me, And what better way than movement? Because, oh, yes. Because movement really kept me sane. I really can't imagine if I was immobile or unable to move, what the healing process would have been like. And also, like, this journey, you got to give yourself time. I had to give myself time, and I had to breathe through it. Get comfortable in the spots that really didn't feel good, in the conversations, in the playbacks, that was happening in my relationship, that I was really just not aware of, not intuitive to know everything that was happening around me. And the amount of intuition and clarity I gained right when I left really has shaped who I am. This individual who's growing, but learning so much. But it was all about the first step of listening to what I know I heard, listening to myself. That intuition has grown at a rapid speed. It was almost like because she's a she for me. She was waiting, like, girl, come on. I've been trying to get through to you. She heard me? Yes, finally. And that's how I felt really through this entire process. Unsure, unaware of everything. But my girl was telling me everything was going to be okay. Now, first thing I want you to know, just like how I tell everybody, my number one thing I tell people when you're trying to start a fitness journey, you're trying to be consistent with a fitness journey, what works for you may not work for me. What works for me may not work for you. But the intent is to find what works for you, okay? I did a heavy schedule of heavy meditation, writing. I wrote like damn near almost every day. If not every day, every week. No, every other day. I have days upon days, literally a book's worth of writings, of feelings, of emotions, of days. And once I found me a pretty consistent therapist, I had kind of dealt with a lot of shit already through constant movement. There was a will to not figure it out, figure out the why, because, girl, how could you? There was a need to want to get it together. Like for me, I got in my relationship when I was 23. I got out of my relationship, right? 33rd, 32nd actually, because I turned 33 last year, but my 32nd was like the first birthday I didn't spend, committed. And let me tell you, that separation of who you were and who you now are is so important in anything, but especially in healing, because he gave me clarity, really not in trying to be the 23-year-old me again, but really discovering this person who the 23-year-old me didn't even know. Time ever, I really got to know myself. I had never spent enough time really getting to know me. A lot of people don't. Now, I did a lot of reading. I am a self-help girl. But see, I'm different than like the ones that just read the books. I really be applying pressure to myself. It's almost like classes for me. So that's what I did. I dove into so many books and really did a lot of self-discovery that I know a therapist could have been able to help me with, but I was in a hardcore transition. Like, I left my house. I left all of my things. I didn't take anything out of my marriage besides my wedding dress, my ring. That's kind of it. So I ended up having to have a procedure done in May. Just had a lot of crap. So by the time I got to the therapist, I had done as much work as I could possibly do. But once again, what works for me may not work for you. There's a certain way that I apply pressure and I self-analyze and I critique in a healthy way. I've learned over the years to really make sure that I'm not so much as being right, because that's what I had to take my ego out of, the fact of trying to be right, and really just surrender to my will to control things. And the more I listen to that voice within, shout out to Christina Aguilera, I began to know what I needed to do. Out of a weight room, I always tell people who used to be athletes, humble yourself. I had to humble myself. Somebody who walked out of the relationship to what a lot of people would think I was the right one in the situation really had to reflect and realize her wrongdoings in that too. Clear the noise, because I had to once again listen to myself, and not so much as blame either of us and say either of us are to blame for what happened, transpired in this relationship. It was more so about time being up, me making the move, the final decision. But really, had it not been the hardcore title of a wife and a husband, just would have been a breakup. It would have been two parties amicably deciding to do something else. Yes, it was a lot of anger, hurt, pain, get back, because I'm petty. I'm petty. I'm gonna make sure that every time you see me, you're gonna see me shining. So the suffering of seeing me out way more than what I was out before. All of the things that we as humans do. I think I did. I need one more. Really would have kept pointing fingers, or had I been staying in that victim mindset of woe is me, I wouldn't have really given myself the opportunity to like own my power. And I promise on everything that I've ever did, loved, and said to you, the way that I have gained a divine power, it's like a fucking superpower. Excuse me, I like to paint my sentences with cuss words. And that newfound superpower was there all along. I just had a lot of things that was going on around me and I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear what she was saying. I couldn't understand. I heard, well, I'm gonna take it a step further and challenge all of us really, because we do hear, we do know. It's the confidence and the courage that you have to make big, hard-ass decisions that people may not agree with, that a lot of people, that you may hear naysayers. Like, imagine you're breaking away from a whole family. So there are so many things inside of your head, thinking about everybody that sent well wishes, wished us luck, was at the wedding, like all of this. But at the same time, it was like, I have to choose myself. So many of us don't. And I can't live a life or I don't choose myself. I can't live like that. And some may be able to, and I would never ever judge anybody for being in any place that they're in, because as humans, I think we be so busy trying to point the finger at what somebody is doing and where somebody is, and we don't reflect on where the hell we are and how we could possibly benefit or learn from said person. Like, you try to distance yourself from an action so bad that you don't look within and say, okay, well, no, maybe I wouldn't have done it like this. I probably would have done it like this. And being like sincere with yourself, you know what I'm saying? If no one wants to be the bad guy in every situation, we make so many moves, decisions, because no one wants to be the person to go against the grain, to go against what everyone else is doing. And my whole life has been about that. I've been somebody who has run away from being different her whole life because I fit in well with people. I love people, which is why I'm in the profession that I'm in. But I hadn't really channeled that self-love that everybody be talking about. You know, a lot of people aren't living it, which is why a lot of people can't tell you what to do to get there. The steps are literally getting quiet enough, stop asking questions, get in a place where you can be silent, truly getting silent enough to hear what that voice is saying. Like, no one knows but the people who are closest around me. I had a panic attack right before I left. Like, the last argument that me and him had, I had a panic attack that day, and I had never heard a voice so clear, y'all. That said, lay down, take deep breaths, center yourself. And in that moment, I knew everything that she was saying. I knew what she meant. I knew what I needed to do. And it took about 5 minutes for me to come out. And it was scary because I had never felt that feeling before. But I stayed with her, and like immediately, y'all, I heard her clearer. It was almost like I had just hit my max in weight, you know, for my people who max out, who lift weights, or just anybody who's working out, progressive overloading. You hit a mark, you know, I'm only lifting 150 pounds. I'm only squatting to 150. And then this day, I hit that 165, and like all of a sudden, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Like, you hear everything, and that's what it was. And from then on, till now, I've been doing my best, and it's a muscle. So sometimes I don't listen, and I'm immediately, like, I tell people, like, spiritually thumped. Like, you know, somebody thump your ass in the head. My mom used to do that when we would get our hair done and we was moving our head too much. She'll thump us right in that temple, man. And you get hit immediately, like, you should listen. And from then on, I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm not gonna doubt what I hear. Scary, hell yeah. But I need an adrenaline rush. I tell y'all, that's all that it is. It's an adrenaline rush sometimes, because you don't know what's on the other side of you doing what you're supposed to do. But doing what you're supposed to do is so good. And it feels so right that it's got me here to where the point I know I've overcome so much. And I learned so much. And I was in a place, unlike where I've been in the past, where I'm honestly and truly able to take the lessons, put them in a bag, and get the hell out. Unscathed, not mad. I literally just saw my ex last week. And I really knew I had been doing the work. Oh my God. I felt like a fucking champion. And I have to cuss when I say it. I felt like a champion because that had been work, y'all. Serious, like every day, every minute, every second, work. Really making a decision every fucking day. I'm gonna do something different. Nope, can't stay here. I'm gonna feel it, but I'm not gonna let it tear me. Okay, that's who I am. That's what I do. It's not a bad thing. Okay, I don't care what society makes you feel like with certain things. Now, some shit, okay, morally speaking, y'all morals be a little off. And the problem is y'all not listening to yourself. Y'all too busy listening to everybody else. You listening to other people tell you when you know what to do, bro. Sis, everybody, you know what to do. You're just scared. And I get it. It's a scary thing. Like, I would be lying to y'all if I knew me leaving that house on that August night evening. I had a plan. I didn't. I didn't. I was thrust into it. But making that decision skyrocketed me into a different space. Like, literally, I'm in a completely different space. I see things in a different way. I'm telling you, it's a superpower that I've like literally activated on all facets. People, I'm not lying to y'all. I'm not. Now, granted, today my suntan lotion have glitter in it. So if you see me sparkling, literally, that's what it's from. But I'm glowing. That's just, it's what's in me. It's not what's on me. And I can't stress that enough. It's been what has been brewing, growing, developing, molding, like cutting, sharpening. It's in me. Are all days easy? No. I don't know who told y'all, but like, what's wrong with things being hard? Like, granted, I understand that everybody is in a very pressured place. I feel it. But shit is gonna be hard. You're either gonna get out of that and keep waking up and doing the hard work, or you're going to be dragging behind. Now, I'm not a dragger. I tell y'all all the time, it's like stretching. If you don't stretch, your body's gonna feel it. Your body is going to feel it. You don't stretch for 2 weeks if you're somebody who stretch every day like me. I stretch every day. If I miss Thursday, come back Monday, oh my God. So imagine our lives not stretching. You're tight. That's why everything irritates you. That's why you're angry. That's why what you want to succeed really can't succeed in the way that it should. That's why you be tight spiritually and physically. And I didn't use this divorce as a reason to stay tight. I said I needed to break free. I wanted to be as free, and I feel so fucking free now that I have to say that word in front of freedom. Because that's how free I feel. In a world where I'm really not free from shit, I found the freedom within myself. Let's do 2 more, because I stopped counting. And to the point, like, me saying I'll do it again is crazy. But I regret nothing. I regret nothing at all. So I think maybe to like close this video, are experiencing a divorce or a heavy separation, if you've been with somebody for over 10 years or just a long time, and this doesn't have to be necessarily romantic, this can be platonic, this can be family related, and realizing that the world will gaslight us. The world gaslights us all the time. The government, society, there are a series of different entities that gaslight us to where the point it makes us feel like what we feel we should not follow. What we feel is not real. What we feel is over exaggerated. What we feel, whatever we're feeling, is not attached to some type of logic and thought, and it is. And in making sure that you listen to that person within yourself that's telling you really to do the hard stuff, that you know your friend and a song or a podcast, they would tell you the opposite. Do what you need to do. For yourself, not for anybody else. Get out of your ego and stop trying to be right. I don't really care how it ended, because if you guys knew the details, you would be like, girl, why the what? But it's not for you to know. Healing is for us all. It's available every day. Healing is a choice. You have to grieve it. And grieving somebody that's here is hard as hell, just as well as somebody that's not here. Grieving someone in general is a process. And some days you feel light as hell. Other days you feel like shit. You don't want to get up. You don't want to do anything. But in those moments, feel it. Allow yourself to sit in that emotion, and not only sit in that emotion, question it. Why am I feeling this way? Okay, well then why that? Okay, well then why that? Like, don't stop at the first why. Keep going with your whys so you can figure out what and why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. There are answers. You just have to take time to figure those things out. You have to give yourself grace. Allow patience to step in. There are answers that I wanted to know that was revealed to me because I paid attention. I was aware of what the hell was going on because I was aware of who she was. So get into it. If we all have intuition. This is not gender based. This is not women's intuition. It's men's intuition. It's they's intuition. It's whoever you are. We all have somebody, this centering being inside of us that steers us in certain directions or attempts to help us navigate this life. And we have choices on listening or not listening, being cognizant or being unaware of what the hell is happening. And my divorce made me aware of what the hell was happening. And since then, I've just been riding this wave, this beautiful ass wave that feels good sometimes, that hurts sometimes, that makes me cry tears of joy, that makes me cry tears of sadness, that makes me cry tears of what could be's and what didn't become, all of that shit. But it's brought me here. And the amount of healing and lessons that I've learned, I can't deliver life and my purpose in the same manner. And I have to believe that everything that occurred was for my purpose. Maybe it was for you. Maybe it's for you because you have a friend or a sister or a brother or a mother or a father or aunt or someone who's experiencing a divorce and you don't know what to say. You don't have to say much. The I'm sorry's, they're gorgeous, but it doesn't mean anything. I'm gonna be honest with you. What matters is what's going on when no one is around and no one else. You can't even voice the emotions that you have because your mind and your heart are in such a whirlwind. You're trying to figure out what the fuck happened. That's when you got to listen to yourself. And it's been the most gratifying thing that I have chosen to do. So I hope this video gets to who it's supposed to get to. Don't be stingy. If you see it and you know, and you clearly see or hear somebody's name, send it, because that's the person inside of you telling you to do an assignment. If it's not for you, send it to somebody who it is for. You can manage and navigate divorce in a healthy way, y'all. It's lessons. And it's not for you to be scared of it, because I would never not tell people to get married. I would always tell people to know their whys, to discuss their whys, and to listen that if things are strange or if things, y'all not agreeing in certain things, you may not agree in it in the long run. Pay attention to those things. You can want something so bad that you ignore. We all do. Hello, TikTok lady, who the fuck did I marry? We all do it. We have to choose, be cognizant, and be responsible with what we hear. I love you guys so much. I hope this was a good workout. Everything was listed below. Have an awesome day. We're going into some side planks next, okay? Okay, bye.